Do we know what happened on, as you say, on that fateful day? Because Tom Simpson on Mont Ventoux, it's one of the pivotal moments in cycling history. Was there autopsies? Was there investigations into the death? Is there a consensus now as to what actually happened?
Um, the caveat is it's been a few years since I finished writing the book, so I can't recall every detail of this. But I know that morning Simpson was, I think he was on the edge. He was just inside the top 10 of the Tour, and he was really racing for his future. Like, he wanted to win the Tour de France, but to be completely honest, he probably never had it quite within him to do that. He was a great one-day racer. He was a really good climber, but he wasn't, the best. So he was overreaching anyway, you could say, with hindsight. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't number one. So he was pushing himself. I think he'd already been ill a few days earlier in the race. And yeah, you had this pivotal stage up, finishing up. I think was it finishing on 1-2, or was it going down on the other side? Not sure. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Big climb, huge, one of the toughest in the Tour de France, as we know. And yeah, he wasn't having the best day. He took some water from Vin Denson, his teammate, at the foot of the climb. And Vin shouted at him, "Die, die," which means, "Come on, go for it," in Italian. And decades later, Denson feels bad about that because of what eventually happened. He did die, in English. Basically, Simpson got further and further up the climb, and he dropped behind the leaders, and he was weaving on his bike. I think he got to within, tragically, about 1,500 meters from the summit, so close. And he keeled over a few times, and the mechanics in the car behind him, they tried to put him back on the bike. Obviously, he was in toe clips, so sometimes he was just falling into the road. These one kind of 2 times. And that final time, with 1.5k to go, he was basically delirious, unconscious, and that's when they realized they had a problem. And a helicopter was called, landed on the scree of this lunarscape that is Mont Ventoux, and they took him to the nearest hospital, and they couldn't save him, sadly. But also, that's where I believe the race doctor, or one of the doctors, found a box of amphetamines in his jersey pocket. I can't recall whether there was an autopsy done. The family may not have wanted it, but I might be confusing it with my other book, Frank Vandenbroek. But anyway, the important thing is how it was reported by the media, because that has guided us, for the years and years afterwards. And broadly speaking, that is that it was a doping-related death. We know that because of the stereotype, the stigma attached to Tom Simpson. And this was such big news. It's hard to convey. This was a JFK moon landing moment. Millions of people in France were listening to the radio when this happened. They were following it like that. The Airbnb host who I had at the weekend, who's French, told me he remembered Tom Simpson. He remembered that moment. It sticks in their memory, this sporting tragedy, because Tour de France athletes now, as then, are superheroes. They're not meant to pass out, let alone die. No, everyone should come home from every sporting event, from every bike race. So it truly was a tragedy for him to die in his prime.
So if you like this video, you should definitely check out this video, because I know you're going to love it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.